Daf Yomi 102b. Top of the page with the words Likach lo chitin. To purchase wheat for him. Okay, so basically, starting from the previous page, it says the sages taught in the Tosefta, Bava 420, one who gives money to his agent, and now we're on top of 102b, to purchase wheat for him, which he plans to sell at a profit, and instead the agent purchased barley with the money. Or, if he gave his agent money to purchase barley, and instead he purchased wheat with the money. Two Braitot issue discordant rulings with regard to the halacha. It is taught in one Braita that if there was a loss, the loss is for the agent. And if there was a profit, the profit is for the agent as well, as he is considered to have abrogated his status as an agent by deviating from the instructions. And it is taught in one Braita, Tosefta Bava 420, that if there was an agreement that both parties would split the profits from the transaction, if there was a loss, the loss is for the agent, and if there was a profit, the profit goes to the middle, that is, the agent and the investor split the profit. To reconcile the Braitot, Rabbi Yochanan said, this is not difficult. This first Braita is in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Meir, and this second Braita is in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yochanan explains his rationale. This first Braita is in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Meir, who says that a change by an agent that deviates from the terms of his assignment means that the agent acquires the item in question for himself, as in the case of one who is paid to dye wool red but dyed it black. In this case as well, when the agent purchases wheat instead of barley, or vice versa, he acquires the grain for himself. And this second Braita is in accordance with the opinion of Yehuda, who says that a change by an agent which deviates from the terms of his agreement does not mean that the agent acquires the item in question for himself. It is acquired by the one who appointed the agent, and they split the profits as agreed. But the agent is held responsible for any loss incurred due to his deviation from the instructions. Rabbi Elazar objects to this explanation. From where do you say that the dispute between Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda extends to the case of these Braitot? Perhaps Rabbi Meir says that a change by an agent from the terms of his agreement results in the acquisition of the item by the agent only with regard to an item that is fit for use by the one who appointed the agent himself, such as wool dyed the wrong color, which is now not usable for its intended purpose. But Rabbi Meir does not say his ruling with regard to an item purchased for subsequent sale as merchandise, since it is intended to be sold for a profit in any event, and the transaction would take effect as agreed upon initially, with the agent held responsible for any loss incurred. Rather, Rabbi Elazar said, both this Braita and that Braita are written in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Meir, and it is not difficult. Here in the first Braita, it is discussing grain purchase for eating, and since the one who appointed the agent desired wheat, he does not acquire the barley. There, the second Braita is discussing grain purchase for subsequent sale as merchandise, and the transaction takes effect as agreed upon initially, with the agent held responsible for any loss incurred. The Gemara notes that they laughed at it in the West, meaning Eretz Yisrael, at the explanation of Rabbi Yochanan, who said that according to the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, a deviation by an agent from the terms of his assignment does not result in the acquisition of the item for the agent himself, and who informed the owner of the wheat, in other words, the seller, that he should transfer the wheat to the owner of the money. If the seller was unaware that the agent was acting on someone else's behalf, how would the one who appointed the agent acquire the wheat? Rav Shmuel bar Sasrati objects to this rationale. If so, then even in a case where the agent was sent to purchase wheat, and he purchased wheat, the one who appointed the agent should not acquire the wheat, since the seller was unaware that the agent was acting on someone else's behalf. Rabbi Abahu said, the case of an agent who is assigned to purchase wheat and purchased wheat is different, as the agent is performing his assignment, and as such he is like the customer, that is the one who appointed him, and it is as though the latter has purchased the grain himself. Rabbi Abahu further explains, know that the agent is viewed as an extension of the one who appointed him, as we learned in a Mishnah in Arachin 24a, concerning both the one who consecrates his property and one who evaluates himself by donating his fixed value to the temple. The temple's treasury does not have any rights with regard to the donor's wife's clothing, and not with regard to his children's clothing, and not with regard to new clothes colored with dye that the donor dyed for his wife or children, and not with regard to new sandals that the donor purchased for his wife or children. Presumably, the treasurer has no right to these items because they are for the personal use of the donor's wife and children and are considered as if owned by them. Rabbi continues, and why? Why is this so? Meaning, why is it that the wife is considered the owner of the dyed clothing for which the husband paid? Also here, let us say, who informed the dyer that he should transfer his dye to the wife? Rather, is it not because we say that the husband is performing his assignment, and as such, he is like an extension of his wife's hand? Here also, in the case of one who purchases grain for another, the agent is performing his assignment and is like an extension of the customer's hand. I think we'll do part 2.